in terms of drug delivery going forward, I think there's real hope within like nanorobotics. And I know you've talked about nanorobotics previously on this
I
podcast.
have.
But these DDSs, drug delivery systems, they could be taken orally or like put into your bloodstream, and they're targeted between. They use your DNA, but they're also targeted towards the specific proteins. So they're guided by that essentially.
Yeah.
Think of it kind of like a magnet, I guess. And what they're allowed to do is they'll be able to be so targeted that it won't affect all your other cells. So essentially, we're talking about a time that possibly in 10 years, chemotherapy is being phased out
Wow.
because you have these nano robots that can deliver highly concentrated radiation just to those cells, the ones that need to be removed. And there are trials kind of going on like at the moment. I don't think they've gone into humans yet, but the science is there, and I think that's really really encouraging for the future of sort of treatment
Yeah.
chemotherapy.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I mean, so I for listeners and viewers, I know you know this, but so my dad had cancer and had various different stages of chemotherapy, and he had a similar thing to you actually. He said that he couldn't feel the soles of his feet,
Mm.
and the one bout he had was very like it was very very strong. I think they initially were quite targeted with it, and then it became more and more broad,
Mm.
and then he couldn't walk. He couldn't even control his hand. It was just
Yeah,
his arms were moving. It was
not fun.
yeah, it completely wiped him out. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that is, as you say, as far as I understand it, because by that stage it was very broad. So it
Mm.
was, that. So I guess there's a relationship there between the degree of specificity
Mm-hmm.
and the severity of the side effects,
Mm.
right? And I guess it makes sense when you think about it like that. Like
Mm.
if you're able to zone in on exactly what you're looking for,
Mm.
then you don't have to hit all of the other cells that are doing other stuff that's not relevant, right? So yeah, so I mean, nanobots, like that's crazy. I guess that's just taking that concept to exact pinpoint accuracy, right?
Yeah.
And I suppose with stuff like so I don't know if you have heard about the DeepMind protein folding work, where so Google DeepMind
Mm.
basically have solved the protein folding problem, so they can now visualize, they can map the shape of every protein, which would have taken like I had a guest on a couple of weeks ago who was saying that it was like if you had a person doing it in a lab,
Mm.
it would have taken like 10 billion years or something, and they've just solved this thing. So I guess with that kind of technology, understanding the human
Mm.
body, and then the nanobots that
Mm.
that you've been explaining,
Mm.
you can really zero right in.